that through various machinations, the haircut didn't amount to anything because all of the people who were shielded were things like the European Central Bank, and then they had to be compensated and made whole, and as soon as you did that, you added that to what the Greeks owed. So that's why we're still at this huge debt, which has gone up, right, from 120% of GNP to 170, 180% of GNP. Now, Tsipras is going to France this coming week and to Italy. It is time for persons of goodwill everywhere to manifest their support for Tsipras and Syriza. You can do this wherever there is a European Union office. Go there and protest. Down with Juncker. Down with Moscovici. Down with Draghi in the European Central Bank, of course. Wherever there's an International Monetary Fund office. Down with you. You're the Troika. Down with the Troika in general. If there's a German consulate, BRD consulate, right? Bundesrepublik Deutschland, go there and protest. If there's a Greek consulate, go and give them some moral support. You get the idea. But it's time to move. It's time to move in this direction. Rippling out from Greece, there are two layers, right? One is the first that I've just gone through, that Italy, conceivably even France, but Hungary, Slovakia, Cyprus, and others could say enough with this, enough with the sanctions against Russia, economic choking, and enough with this lunatic austerity program. Enough with Schäuble. Schäuble, the German finance minister, was thought to be the evil genius of this stuff, right? Schäuble somehow remembers 1923 and hyperinflation. Well, there's no sign of that. It's a figment of Rupert Murdoch's imagination from Sky TV. And of course, the Paultards will want to talk about hyperinflation. They've been promising us hyperinflation for the last 7 or 8 years. Hasn't happened. But what Schäuble doesn't remember is the crash of 1929, which within 4 years gave you Hitler, and in particular, the Brüning government from the spring of 1930 to the summer of 1932, by cutting 2 billion marks at that time out of the German budget, imposed killer austerity, wrecked the political system, wrecked the financial system, and opened the door wide to Hitler. So again, deflation is worse than hyperinflation. Deflation leads to fascism. Italy, 1922, as a result of the deflationary crash of 1920. Germany, same story, 1929 to 1933, Hitler's seizure of power. It's a wonderful time. Now, what's with Spain? We're looking closely at this Podemos party under Iglesias, Pablo Iglesias, who seems to talk primarily about income inequality. We're going to have to look into it. Right now, Podemos is polling at 28%. The reactionary pro-austerity ghoul Rajoy at 19%. Elections during the current year, I believe. Therefore, I would solicit from listeners in Spain, friends of the broadcast in Spain or others who know about this, send us some guidance about this. Obviously, it was a great thing to see Podemos get on the scoreboard in the European election last year. But how did that happen? Was that a sociological phenomenon, or was it helped along? And if so, by who? So we're gonna keep an open mind about this. We might want to get a spokes. Let's see what we can do. Now, Habermas. The current representative of German philosophy is Jürgen Habermas of the Frankfurt School. And his line is, it's a response to Schäuble. Schäuble had written a news article or an op-ed saying, in effect, we Germans do not want to Germanize Europe, right? We're not asking for a Germanized kind of Europe. So therefore, you should back off from the austerity. And then Schäuble had said, we don't want the Germanized Europe. So Habermas comes in and says, look, you are dishonest. You claim you don't want to Germanize Europe, but you are absolutely ignoring the terrible, destructive social consequences of this austerity program in Southern Europe. And one of these is the rise of fascism, right? The Chrissy Avgi, the movement of the Golden Dawn, absolutely fascist. And that's a creature of the economic policies which Schäuble is pushing as being typically European. Well, this is a fraud, right? This is a bad scene. And I'm afraid, though, that Habermas has no answer, right? We checked with Habermas after 9/11. He pretty much struck out at that point. But let's see if we might find a good quote from Habermas. And again, this is what's left of the Frankfurt School. The article is from August of 2013, and he goes through the fact that this is destroying the basis for stability. The key quote is Ludwig de Hio, German historian. Germany is too weak to dominate the continent, but too strong to get in line with the others. There's just no more power. Are we getting back to this in the economic realm? Back in a minute on World Crisis Radio. We're going to go to Athens, Greece, and get the lowdown. Now, we're going to be talking to Michael Chiotinis. Before he begins, I've got to congratulate him. Thanks to Michael Chiotinis, the listeners to this program knew in advance that Tsipras and Syriza would not listen to the siren song of Stavros Theodorakis and the River Party, right? The Topatomi Party. No. They would go directly to the Anel, the independent Greeks of Kamenos. And so it has been. So that's obviously it shows that Michael Chiotinis knows what's going on. I know he wants to talk to us about one of the next formal steps, which is who's going to be the president of the republic, because remember, that's how this entire thing started. But right now, we got to go to the thick of things. Michael is right there at the battlefront. What does it look like? What are the main dangers? What are the main opportunities?
Hello, Webster. Well, as excited as I am about the change that has come to Greece, and as tempting as it is to begin and analyze every ministerial assignment and all hope and goodwill that has returned to the Greek people, and you can see this on the streets. Well, we have to talk about real issues here, and I have to warn about certain things. Thank you very much for giving me credit for the correct predictions. And I was actually talking about the need for the independent Greeks to get inside parliament and form a government with Syriza, and I knew what I was saying about this, because what I'm really afraid of is a civil war type polemic from the opposition and a subversion of the government on civil war lines. And that's, I think, a very big danger. Now, right now, the previous establishment, the local kleptocracy that was always aligned with the Euro clergy, this invisible priesthood of the Euro oligarchy that makes the decisions, and we never know who makes the decisions. But, the Euro oligarchy, this establishment in Greece that supported this Euro oligarchy is dying. And it seems that it's not ready to go quite so easily. I'm afraid I have to bore you with some details concerning New Democracy now, the Conservative Party. That is the main political formation representing this old system. Now, before the current leader, Mr. Samaras, there was Kostas Karamanlis, Prime Minister, up until he lost the election to Papandreou's government. Papandreou's government was the one who brought us the Troika. And
if I could, there are actually two generations of Karamanlis that I'm aware of, right? There was the older Karamanlis, and now there's a newer one, and that's who you're talking about, is the son or whatever, the heir.
It's 3 generations of Papandreous, but anyway.
Right.
Papandreou won the election from Karamanlis and brought us this despicable bailout. Now, Karamanlis, the former leader of the Conservatives, always maintained the image of a centrist moderate. He wasn't a true right-winger. Policies were mildly Keynesian, and he always tried to follow the economic model, which at the time seemed from a conservative point of view, stupid conservative point of view, a viable model, which we now know that it's not.
Michael, I wonder, we're having trouble hearing you. You're breaking up. Is there anything you could adjust that might strengthen the signal?
I will try. Do you hear me now?
Sounds better now.
Okay. Now, his policies, Karamanlis' policies, were mildly Keynesian, as I said, and he tried to follow the Irish economic model, which at the time seemed, from a conservative point of view, as viable. We now know that it's not. Now, Samaras, who succeeded Karamanlis at the leadership of New Democracy, the prime minister up until 2 weeks ago, a week ago, he took a hard right turn, taking in MPs from a far-right political party, not Golden Dawn, but another political party, somewhere between Golden Dawn and the Conservatives. Now, the people surrounding Samaras, his very close team, were extreme right-wingers, and he gave key government positions to these characters. Now, these characters have become now the main spokesman for the Conservatives. But the essence, I don't want to go